Hello, everybody, and I'm Fernando Pescador, the General Chair of ICC 2017, and for me it's a pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Tao Zhang from Cisco, an IEEE fellow who has teach a very interesting keynote, and we have some questions that I want to discuss with you. The first one is, during your keynote you have proposed FOG as a solution to some of the current problems of IoT. Why do you think FOG is a solution for that?
Yeah, so we think FOG, first of all, will fill a lot of the technology gaps that we are facing today in supporting many of the new applications like IoT and 5G and AI and also other many applications that demand new computing model that the current computing model is just not sufficient. And to think about it, if you think about it, people have been working on IoT for many years, right? 5-8 years already. Yeah. But if you want to name one large-scale, successful, really IoT-specific applications or systems, people are going to be having a hard time to do that. And so a lot of that reason is because people have been thinking about supporting IoT using today's existing computing model that relies on computing in the cloud or some proprietary computing on the devices, and that is no longer sufficient to support many of the requirements.
Okay, yes, it's very interesting approach. Let's see if the market accepts this new approach. Another question that could be interesting. Okay, during your keynote you have proposed, you have talked about a new initiative called Open FOG. Right. Could you give us some information about this initiative? Which companies are supporting this initiative?
Definitely. So the Open FOG Consortium was launched in November 2015 by 6 entities, 5 companies plus a university. The 5 companies are Cisco, Microsoft, Dell, Intel, ARM, and the university's Princeton University. And today the consortium has over 50 members, and IEEE is a strategic collaborator and sits on the board of the consortium. And then we also have GE, Schneider, and Hitachi as the new board of directors. And we have over 50 companies and universities and research organizations as members. They span 15 countries. The goal of the consortium, actually several goals. The first goal is to develop an open reference architecture. As I described in the keynote, it's going to be an open architecture end-to-end and to support a continuum of service between the cloud and the things. That continuum of service we call FOG. So we're going to develop an open architecture. And then the next thing that the consortium will do is to actually try it out, show it. We're not just going to do things on paper, we're going to do real implementation testbeds and also things we call operational models that are going to be end-to-end full systems to demonstrate business values, not just a specific piece of technology. And so the third thing that we're going to do is to really educate the market about what FOG is and why is it important. And we also work very closely with the university, with the research community, anticipating that FOG is going to be a long-term goal. So although we have products today, but the room for improvement is so much, and we anticipate there will be needs for attacking new problems and also needs to develop new protocols. So that's why we're working very closely with IEEE and with many other related consortiums and also with the academia.
The standardization, it has been a problem during all the development of IoT, so this initiative is I think it's going to be a success.
Absolutely. Over the past year, we see so much growth and so much momentum.
Okay.
And so to encourage global participation, we're also setting up what we call regional committees. Those are regional teams that are going to do things to meet the regional priorities, but also bring back the regional need to really contribute to this end-to-end global thing. And so the Japan Regional Committee and the North American Regional Committee are up and running already. We expect to launch the Greater China Regional Committee very, very soon.
Yeah. I think your approach is going to be a success. So let's see in the near future. The last question I have, which are the challenges of FOG? Because we did the future of FOG.
Right. So there are a range of challenges that both the industry, especially the Open FOG Consortium, and also the academia are addressing. At the same time, there are also a lot of opportunities associated with those challenges. For example, if I want to name any specific area, security is going to be a challenge, but at the same time, it's a challenge in the sense that FOG is likely going to be a distributed system. Distributed system typically brings more vulnerabilities than a centralized system, and some FOG systems may be small. That means it may have limited resources and limited information. So those opens up more security considerations. But at the same time, it's going to bring opportunities. FOG bringing more computing capabilities closer to the end users, to the end systems, also can help address some of the security challenges that we now face in the Internet of Things, for example, without FOG. So without FOG, you're having so many different systems, devices, and systems out there. And for example, one of the challenges there is that many of those systems will not be able to protect themselves by themselves.
Yep.
And they're not powerful enough, they don't have enough information. And so FOG will bring more capabilities closer to them and can shoulder some of those processing and can shoulder some of those protection, monitoring, and detection capabilities, and working together with the system. And we'll be able to provide very promising services that could make this overall system actually more secure than a system without FOG.
Okay. Security is a big challenge.
Absolutely.
A lot of applications nowadays. It's
Absolutely.
really a problem that must be taken care of in
Absolutely.
the future. So thank you very much, Mr. Zhang.
It is my pleasure.
So I hope it's interesting for our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.